Okay, so it's the final round of the Sith round robin, sort of. Now, I know some people have been asking when I'll go back to the regular format. Well, next month it is April. It's WrestleMania month, so I actually do a month of wrestling-related ones. So yes, there will be the Dean Ambrose, Chris Benoit, Daniel Bryan, Kurt Angle, Hardys versus the Bucks of Youth, even though they've already beaten them in Ring of Honor, and Charlotte Trish Stratus. So I'll probably try to throw in some others too, like Rock, Randy Savage. But that's next month. So we're focused on the two that have survived this whole conflict. Darth Sidious. Now again, this is episodes 1, 2, and 3. If it would be Palpatine, then it would be episodes 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, and 3 versus Count Dooku, who was one of the main villains in the majority up to and a little bit of 1. And as always, with the same list of criteria. So, straight, and again, this is only what happened in the movies. I've done some other research. They mentioned things happen in some of the essential databases, but canon of that changes upon a whim. That's why for some of the Darth Maul stuff, it's Wooly Zabrick, so he has 2 hearts. I also know in the comics he actually was fairly absorbing Force Lightning because of his Night Sister upbringing. So, I'm aware of things that happen outside of the movies, but I'm trying to only focus on things related to the movies. Let's get right into this. I don't think anyone has a problem with me giving intelligence over to Darth Sidious, primarily because he was playing the Jedi, he was playing the Sith. I could even go so far as to say he was playing, Jedi and the Senate. He was probably partially playing Count Dooku a little bit. Just a little bit. Because you could tell in episode 3, when he tells Anakin to kill Dooku, Dooku's like, whoa, wait, what? And he was like, whoa, huh? We did not talk about this earlier. So I do think from that standpoint, I think there's definitely more on the intelligence side, the planning side, well, the diplomatic side for Sidious. I mean, if anything, the way they've positioned him as a character, he is a lot more of a mastermind sort of villain. You're almost never going to face him one-on-one, because you're never going to know what it is he's actually planning, what it is he's actually doing. Fighting ability. Hear me out on this. Hear me out. I know it's already flying in the comments. I had to look at who's Sidious, how he fought. Yes, he did destroy multiple Jedi when he had a surprise advantage on them. However, when it came to facing Mace Windu, let's be honest, Mace Windu had him dead. Mace Windu pretty much showed that he was a vastly superior fighter to Sidious, and pretty much had him dead to rights. When it came to using the feedback loop of the Force, he was like, you could tell he was struggling to keep at it. It had not been for Anakin removing moving the hand of Windu, and then him getting Force lightning across Coruscant, he pretty much had killed Sidious. And just a few minutes later, that's it. He's done. Movie ends right there. You'd have to redo 4, 5, and 6 because you need a new Emperor to fill in his shoes. Now, when he fought Yoda, he actually did a fairly good job against Yoda. But what he actually did, he didn't actually defeat him from a lightsaber standpoint. He actually was able to overpower him with his use of the Force. So we'll get to that later. Where Dooku actually held his own very well against Yoda. He proved that he definitely has enough fencing skill to hold his own against someone like Yoda. Strength. Again, this is their physical strength. I will give the strength edge to Dooku, and some of this has to do with the way his fighting style is designed. It's designed to give him better leverage. So he might not be a very physically strong character, He's a physically imposing character. I would say if he were to face the senator turned emperor, Sidious cannot have a very large physical presence. He's a large presence in a room, but I think that Dooku is just a tad bit physically stronger. Now, from a speed standpoint, I don't mind giving Sidious a slight edge when it comes to speed. We saw how quickly he was able to defeat 3 Jedi. He definitely does have a speed advantage. Invulnerability. This has to do with the ability of redirecting Force lightning. They're both in robes. I know people have thrown out in the other Dooku one that Dooku should have taken invulnerability because of the ability to redirect Force lightning. And we saw what happened when Mace Windu redirected the Force lightning. And Mace Windu's technique wasn't anywhere near as good as Dooku's technique. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean? If you looked back when Dooku fought Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan was able to block Force lightning with his lightsaber. Wasn't able to block and redirect it as well, but he was able to block it with his lightsaber. Dooku used his hand. Of course, he used his hand to redirect the Force lightning shot at Yoda, direct it back up and out. So it was his lightning redirected back up and out. Which we know his lightning isn't as strong as Sidious. Sidious actually knocked Yoda down with his Force lightning. Durability. I'll give it to this. I think this fight isn't going to use a tremendous amount of physical combat. I picture this fight going slightly differently. I think when it comes to more of the physical style of combat and the constant use of the lightsabers and the ability to try to do more redirection and more defensive moves, I think Dooku doesn't have enough there for this fight to last a tremendously long period of time. That's because, well, I think this, when it comes to the Force lightning ability of Sidious, Dooku's Force lightning, he hit Yoda, Yoda was able to block it, and then redirect it, which made Dooku take the redirection and shoot it up. When Sidious did the same thing to Yoda, Yoda was kind of like, well, I could block, oh, okay, I can't. And he overpowered Yoda with his dark side energy. At the same time, Dooku, it took him a little bit of effort to break down part of a ceiling. Where Sidious was kind of going, oh, it's a Senate chair. And Senate chair, Senate chair, Senate chair. And he was able to throw enough large objects at Yoda with very little effort. Very little effort. Now, I will say from an X Factor standpoint, I'll give that to Dooku. I do think that he has enough level of skill and knowledge of both the light and the dark side of the Force that he will be a good match fighting someone like Sidious. But the problem's going to come down to is Dooku has knowledge of both the light and the dark side. Sidious is so in tune with the dark side of the Force. His lightning easily overpowered Yoda. His ability to telekinesis easily overpowered Yoda. When it comes to all the method techniques that he knows, all the subterfuge that he has, he can easily probably say the right things just going to knock Dooku off his game. I think it's a competitive fight, but I think, ironically, out of all 7 of the Sith in this style of tournament, Sidious is probably the most dangerous. So next month, I will be doing wrestling-related ones. Once I get out of that into May, people have asked me about some of the other characters like Cardiac, who I believe was... I picture him, he's blue and gray, and he was an old Spider-Man villain. A gadget user who had a sophisticated metal suit that he wore. Yes, I will also look into One Punch Man. I'm not really versed in the anime, but I will look into it, try to figure out what I can do with that. Shazam Hulk. Yes, it is on the docket. I'm kind of behind. I do have some Power Ranger ones. Someone did mention Wolverine versus the Ninja Turtles. I don't know if you mean all 4 of them, or if you want me to do like one-on-ones with multiple ones. If it's multiples, I'll probably pick Leonardo, because I think Leonardo matches up the best with Wolverine. Because everyone else is like, oh, I've got a bow staff. Schnick. Nunchucks, dude. Schnick. I've got size, now with the more powerful turtles. Maybe. Versus Leonardo, who's their leader, I think he makes a better fight. So I'll get into the comic book things. That'll be the month of May. So I did this because it's something different. I haven't done this sort of tournament in a while. It's different from my standpoint too, because I actually really can't do as much in the way of research, because I'm only doing things specific to have happened in movies. And with those, for most of it, it's a couple of scenes to go think and go, do I think fighting so-and-so is equivalent to fighting so-and-so? And no one fights the exact same fight the same way. There's always some different aspects from either the character's emotional state, or where they are in the movie. You know, how far they've progressed. Have they gone through a massive time of war? You know, there's a lot of variation, a lot of flux that happens throughout the movies. So, if you enjoy this, thank you. Hit the like button. If you have not, by all means, leave a criticism. Try to keep it poignant and to the point that I actually can improve upon. Don't just say I'm a bald idiot or Joe Rogan. I will say, from my standpoint, 10% of my videos get dislikes. So, in the grand scheme of things, other ones have gotten a lot more. So if you enjoyed it, awesome. Thank you. I will do wrestling next month. Month after that, back into comics again. And thanks for watching.